In 1979, a 2-year-old boy and his family escaped the conflict in the country of Laos and eventually made their way to Utah. Today, that boy is a man and a Roy City police officer. In fact, he's a DARE officer. He's also a detective and a court bailiff. And he's this week's Behind the Badge Police Profile.
What's going on, everybody? You guys excited for DARE today?
Chanse Malay is the DARE officer for the elementary schools in Roy. In fact, he has 6 classes just like this.
So every time we take risks, we make choices, it comes with consequence.
He looks at these sessions with students as opportunities to influence.
Hopefully when they leave 6th grade, going to junior high, when they come into a situation where, hey, they see someone teasing a kid or, hey, someone offering them alcohol, tobacco, to help them say no to those things.
But Officer Malay believes these teaching moments can do even more than that.
My goal is to try to help them have good, positive interaction with law enforcement all around.
It was that positive perception he had of police that helped him choose to be a cop.
They seem to be professional, and this seems like an honorable profession. It seems like they're there to help, and my goal was to do the same, to help if I can.
But there's much more to his story. You see, while Officer Malay grew up in Ogden, he was born 7,500 miles away in a country filled with conflict. His family escaped Laos when he was just 2.
That's what my dad did, to provide a better life for his children. And this is what I grew up in, this is where I grew up. I went to school and just tried to be a better life, like, what my dad wanted for us.
As an officer, he says he's seen a lot of crime and disturbing situations. But he says the incident he thinks of the most in his career is a life-saving story.
And this truck just made the turn, and all of a sudden I saw the biker fell over.
He witnessed a pickup truck run over a baby carrier attached to a bicycle.
I got on the radio, hey guys, I need help.
The carrier was still under the truck, and there was no time to wait for help.
So I said, guys, we got to pick up this truck. So me and a couple citizens out there lift up the back end of the truck.
Officer Malay says he was expecting the worst.
I was able to reach in the carriage. It was flat.
But then he says he witnessed what a fellow officer would later call a miracle.
The baby did not have a scratch on his head.
A few years later, it would be Officer Malay who would need a miracle when he went into cardiac arrest at his home.
My wife says she heard me call her name, and she heard a thump. She went in, my body seizing.
His heart had stopped beating, and he'd stopped breathing. While his daughter dialed 911, his wife began CPR.
She began to do chest compressions.
Officer Malay woke up 2 days later. Surgeons put a defibrillator in to make sure his heart kept beating. And he began getting back in shape to get back to work. Not long after he returned to the force, he was made a detective.
Hey, when did this happen with your car? Was it this year or last year?
He says whether he's serving as a detective, an officer, a bailiff, or in the DARE program, his goal was always the same: put on the badge and serve the people of the city of Roy.
I'm out here to help the community, trying to make it a better place for everybody to live.
Officer Malay tells me he's only had to use his taser one time during his 17-year career, and he says he believes he missed, but he still got his man. It's a little bit of a humorous story, and you can check it out in our web extra online. Just go to goodforutah.com/badge. You'll see his story. You'll also see the other badge stories, and you can nominate an officer for a future story there.